Yeah, there's changes. I expected there to be some changes. Like I said, about every 3 or 4 weeks, you got to make some assessments and see what's working and what's not, and start to make some calculations. So the very first thing that is changing is my cardio. Now, all I'm doing is adding 15 minutes per cardio session 5 times a week. So instead of 30 minutes of cardio, I'm going to do 45 minutes of cardio. It's not going to kill me. I am honestly not worried about it. It's adding about an hour and 15 minutes of time to my schedule for working out, but it's going to be okay. I'm not worried about it at all, like I said, and it kind of goes along with change number 2, which is removing a healthy fat from my meal number 2, which is usually my lunch. And for the past month, I've been having about a half of an avocado at lunchtime, and I absolutely love those. Rip avocados for a while. It's not that avocados are bad at all, and I'm not taking it out of my diet because it's bad for me. It's just that with my fat burning goal and then the timeline of how I'm trying to change my body composition to make a May show, you kind of have to make some changes. So adding the cardio a little bit and removing 1 serving of healthy fat is going to be a slight tweak. It's not going to, it's not a huge change at all, but I'm hoping that with those 2 combined, that I'll start to see a little bit of a higher rate of fat burning a little bit, which will mean that I may not lose a whole bunch of pounds on the scale, but I should see some inches moving a little bit and feel a little bit tighter overall in my measurements. And the alternative to the whole fat burning thing is just a quick fix and take a fat burning pill and purchase those and take one every day for a certain amount of time. And I choose to be natural, and I'm not taking fat burners or those supplements. So I'm really trying to use the science of physical exercise, cardiovascular exercise, and the science behind the diet and the food that you can manipulate around. So I'd rather like the long-term benefits than having a short-term like fix. So I just don't want to trade that off. I want, health all the way. And I am getting ready to do my 45 minutes of cardio here in a little bit. And I am having my little treat that I'm like finding is really fun to create during this journey. So I love like having drinks with like different combinations. So of course I drink a ton of water, and I have usually a couple of cups of coffee per day, but I love the fact that I can have like a 0 sugar soda every once in a while, and I try to have one about every day so that I feel like I'm not just having water the entire time. But this concoction is new. I just tried it today, and I absolutely love it so far. So it is just a 0 sugar 7-Up poured over ice, and then I added a V8 like energy juice, those V8 energy juice cans, and this one was a sparkling apple cider flavor. So I thought, I wonder if those will make a good combination. So I added them together, and it's delicious. It kind of tastes like an apple cider soda almost, but it's really hitting the spot for some reason this afternoon, and I think it's going to be a little favorite that I really like. And so I'm kind of getting that down, and then I'll hit my cardio in a little bit. So the third thing that I am making a change with for this next month or so, maybe 2 weeks, and we'll see how it goes. And I'm not really excited about this one as much because I love food and I love carbohydrates, but I am also going to remove my carbohydrate source from my first meal of the day, my breakfast. And for the last month, 5 weeks, I have been having either a half or a third a cup of oatmeal in the morning or some Kodiak cakes, because I love my protein pancakes like none other. I could eat them for like every meal. So I'm removing those, and I'm just doing my high protein, so 30 or 40 grams of protein, like a whole bunch of egg whites or protein shake and some turkey bacon, some kind of good fat like that, and maybe a handful of berries, but I'm not doing the big carbohydrate thing. And that's supposed to, in theory, give me more energy for the day. And then when I do my afternoon or evening workout, then my body will have like more fresh carbohydrates to burn off, because I need those for like the energy of like the calories that I'm going to be burning while I'm doing my heavy lifting. So that's the theory. We'll see what happens, and I will sum all of this up again in a month. So here I am going to take you guys through a leg day routine, and actually what I'm getting ready to start with is going to warm up every muscle in my legs. This is a traditional goblet squat. I've got my toes pointed out into a plie. I am really going very deep, sitting as I would on a chair, and even a little bit deeper. I've got my elbows positioned to where they would touch the tops of my knees, keeping my back as straight as possible. After 6 reps, as you notice, I lift my heels and I'm just on my toes, and then I do 6 pulses. So I do 6 full repetitions and then 6 pulses. So I'll go back up, down, all the way into that squat. And by the way, the dumbbell that I'm holding is 40 pounds. You can go lighter or heavier on this. You could even start with your own body weight. But again, after those 6 full repetitions, I'm going to lift my heels up and balance on my toes and do a pulse. This will burn the inside of your legs. Now, after my goblet squats, I am going to do the coveted, just kidding, Bulgarian split squats. So I have found that sitting on the bench and putting out your leg, extend out your leg and then stand up will give you the best range of motion. I'm also holding 25-pound dumbbells in each arm, and I am going to squat down as far as my range of motion and my will take me, and I will do a certain amount of reps for each leg. Try to aim for 10. I usually end up getting about 8 because I like to go up in weight and make sure that I'm lifting heavier and doing less repetitions, because my focus specifically is fat burning and muscle building at the same time. So that means I have to go heavy. If I go really, really light and then get a high number of repetitions, I'm not going to get to my goals like I want to. After I do each leg, I take a break. Now I'm going to get set up for my freestanding squats. I always use a pad that goes around the bar. It just helps my back. I know a lot of lifters thinks that you're maybe kind of a pansy for using that, but it helps me, and I like that. So this one is called Iron Bowl. I got it off Amazon for like $30. So my squat that I'm loading right now, I'm going to put 2 45-pound plates on the bar, which will add up to 135 pounds. This is what I do for my warm-up, so I will get into a pretty deep squat on this one. Also, I really love using clips for the end of your bars. I think these are really important. A lot of gyms have them, sometimes the metal ones, but I ordered these off of Amazon too, and they are plastic. So one thing that's really important when you are squatting is to make sure that you can bend down a little bit and get under the bar so that you can give yourself a little bit of a push up to get the bar off of the rack. And then you want to scoot back about 2 or 3 steps to clear the racks and make sure that your arms and handles are like more than shoulder length apart, pretty wide. And you want to get down into a pretty deep squat as much as possible. Every time that I come back up, I'm trying to pull my hips forward a little bit to activate my glutes, and I want to keep my back completely straight and not rounded because you want to avoid lower back injury. So here I am getting ready to sit down and do a leg extension to work my quadriceps. So I got to move one of the straps out of the way and set the weights on the back side. Now, the bar on the bottom, you have to lift, and on my specific machine, I've got a chain that attaches to the cable on the bottom, and so that was unhooked. Got to get that fixed. So you sit here, and there's lots of pads on these leg extensions because they can hurt. I try to hold on to something up so that my core is activated. I am engaging my abs, and I'm lifting all the way up to where my legs are straight. Here I'm lifting about 75 pounds, and I am moving my legs up and activating my quadriceps. You have 4 muscles in your quadriceps, so these activate all 4. And here I'm getting ready for my next set, but as usual, bodybuilders like to get a little bit of a pose sometimes in the camera or in the mirror just to check that the pump is working. So I also do shoulder isolation workouts on leg day. So I am getting my cable flies all set. Generally, I'm only doing 5 to 10 pounds on my cable lats. So I'm going to kind of lean outward and get adjusted exactly how I need. Now, I found that on my cable machine, if I stand, my cable weight does not allow me to get full range of motion with my shoulder. So I'm gonna have to change positions and try something different. I'm gonna get down on one knee, and that way I'm able to go all the way up and get my full range of motion for my outside lats. Now, when I come down, you can kind of see my lat flexing a little bit there on the outside deltoid. I'm wanting to pull that all the way up as much as possible, and then I'm going to switch arms. So you have to switch the other side, get your angle ready to go, and you're going to just cable pull that arm up until you get a little bit over your shoulder. So my rule of thumb is kind of for your hand to get about head length for that stretch to happen. Generally, I'm doing 8 to 10 reps for each arm, and I'll do 3 or 4 sets of that. I'll take you through a very quick video of me posing, and then I will post pictures. So you want to hit a front pose on stage, something like this. Then the judges will tell you to quarter turn to the right, and you're going to quarter turn to the right. You want your shoulders lifted high and broad so that they can see your shoulders and your physique. Then they're going to tell you to quarter turn to the right again, which you'll be facing the back wall, and that they can see your back. They want to see your lats and your shoulder spread and your glutes and hamstrings. Then they'll tell you a third time to quarter turn to the right, and you're going to do the same thing but opposite on this side. You're going to lift your chest, you're going to broaden your shoulders, and then they will tell you a fourth time to quarter turn to the right. Here you can see a still picture of a front pose. This would be a picture of one of the quarter turns. The back pose, you want your lats to have a V shape, still have a long way to go here, and then another quarter turn to the right pose. Okay, so my weight currently is 174 pounds. And back in like April, May of last year, I was 30 pounds heavier than I am now. And it's just crazy. Like the way that weight creeps up on me is just so crazy. It happens so quickly. The minute I'm out of a routine, the minute that I kind of just start to do whatever, a month happens, 3 months happen, and like 10 to 12 pounds pack on so quickly in just water weight and not maintaining what I'm putting into my body. So being at 174 right now is great. When I was on stage last time, I actually weighed about 148 pounds, and that's the lowest I've ever been in my entire like adult life. Even in like junior, senior year, I wasn't 148 pounds. I was bigger than that. So right now, thinking that I might have 30 pounds to lose before May, kind of seems intense. So I may not need to lose 30 pounds because, again, I can't compare my body now to what it was 6 years ago at my previous competition. I definitely have more muscle mass than I did 6 years ago. So that's gonna weigh more. So even if I was only needing to lose about 20 pounds or 22 pounds from now until May, that's a whole lot more doable in my brain than 30 pounds. But since this prep started the last week of December, I'm down about 11 pounds. So while that is good and it's okay, the measurements and the tightness that you want to feel between skin and muscle and not having a lot of fat in there is the bigger issue because of the state of the competition, being on stage, and you want to showcase that. So during this time, I've been able to lose about an inch around my waist, which is awesome. So I'm keeping my gut down, not really feeling the bloating and stuff like that unless I'm having my menstrual cycle for a few days, then I feel a little bloated. I don't even measure during that time because it's a waste mentally and emotionally to do that. I'm down a half an inch in my legs, I'm down a half an inch in my arms, and then I'm up a half an inch in my chest, which is totally fine because I've been rocking my chest workouts and building that up a lot. So that'll look really good on stage once I lean out and I'll have good chest definition. So all of that's really good. So those are good results for now, and I am still hopeful at this point here in the beginning of February for a May show. So let's see.